Welcome back to Real World Maps for You, where I make one-to-one Transport Fever 2 maps based on your suggestions. Today, we're somewhere in Sussex. G'day, I'm Stephen Spry and we're looking at the Lewis and East Grinstead Railway, which opened in 1882. Following its unexpected closure in 1958, a local group was formed to preserve part of that line, and the Bluebell Railway was opened in 1960. It's now one of the oldest heritage lines in England, with regular tourist rail services running from Sheffield Park all the way up to East Grinstead. The yellow line on our Google Earth view shows where the line runs today, while the inset in the right-hand corner shows the in-game view of the line with the track already laid. It doesn't come with track, you've got to put that down, but I'll show you how that happens shortly. Also included on the map are some branch lines which connect to nearby towns, including the Gold Line connecting Horsted Canes to Hayward Heath, which opened in 1883. The line winds through some gorgeous Sussex rural countryside before entering the 668 metre or 731 yard Sharpthorne Tunnel, which is the longest on a UK heritage railway, before emerging at the now dismantled West Hoathly and Sharpthorne station. At the top of the screen you can see another gold and also a green line. We'll have some more information on them later. But now we're coming up on Kingscote Station. Now the magnificent viaduct you see there on the game view doesn't actually exist. I just wanted a lot more viaducts on this to make it look a little bit nicer, because I love them, particularly this one here, crossing that little lake just before we arrive at East Grinstead. So here's an aerial view of all of the railway lines that are included on the map. If you wanted to build them historically, you'd start with the Three Bridges line in 1855 that went into East Grinstead, and then the other gold one to the right is the Tunbridge Wells line in 1866. The Lewis and East Grinstead line opened in 1882, with the extension to Haywards Heath in 1883. Meanwhile, the Oxted to London line, making this whole line the fastest between Lewis and London, opened in 1884, and many moons later, the Bluebell Railway in 1960. Finally reopening the connection to East Grinstead in March 2013. Let's now have a closer look at the map, showing how I actually went about converting the single and large country roads that I used as placeholders for the railway and converting it into actual track. So, yeah, buckle up. This is going to be a bit of a ride, and while we're looking at this, I'll give you a little bit more information about the map and the actual process that I'm following here. So, the first section is from Newark up to Sheffield Park, single track. There's Sheffield Park going in. All I'm doing at the moment is just whacking in the stations and finding a nice midpoint so that I can just do that and go around the corner. So each station at this bottom end had passing loops, so that's why it was still single track. The funny thing was the whole lot was actually laid out and prepared and excavated and everything else as double track. It just never happened south of Horsted Keynes. Horsted Keynes, Stephen, get it right. Oh, bloody English names. I tell you what, I'm having so much trouble with them at times. But here you go. Basically, find a midpoint on a curve or at the start of a straight, put the straight in and whack it around. And yeah, should be fine. There are a couple of places where we're going to have a little bit of trouble. You might have to excavate the creeks that are there, or fiddle with the things in the bottom right hand corner there if you have experimental bridge and tunnel heights enabled in the settings LUA file on the game. But yeah, this one was a problem. It came back to haunt me later, I tell you. But anyway, I got it in. That's all that matters. If you would like to try and lay all of the track, hello, Horsted Keynes, thank you. If you'd like to try and lay all of the track that is marked for construction here, it's going to cost a veritable packet, $30 million. And don't forget the dates that I showed you earlier. Really, if you want to do it hysterically, then stick to the dates, or at least do it in the order that the tracks were laid. Right. Okay. This bit out to Haywards Heath via Ardingly is actually double track. So there you go. What's those industries there? There are a couple of off-map industries that I've set up so that you can import stuff. We'll have a closer look at the various portals that are being used a little later on. But, gee, I tell you what, I'm getting tired watching this. It's going so fast. Yeah. And now I discovered the problem over here. Yeah, bloody thing came back to haunt me. Tried to just clip this. Didn't want to play the game. Never mind. It just shows that even with 4,000 odd hours or however many million hours that you have in this game, sometimes it just doesn't want to do what you want it to. Glad that's over. Time for a bit of smoothage. Yeah, just tidy it up a bit. Yeah, get rid of the that's it. Yep. If you've got any paint that needs touching up, maybe along the edge of the bridges, bit of dark green. Yep. You know what you're going to need? Well, eventually I'm going to need the train depot, so I might as well whack it here for now. Right, okay. Correct name, Horsted Keynes. Thank you. And now back to a straight bit in the middle, another straight bit in the middle, and another straight bit just before that tunnel. And keep your fingers crossed that we can just go zippity zappity, get rid of those straight bits, because they will just, no, not needed. Yep, that's better. Lovely. Simple, isn't it, really? You might think so. Okay. Here we are, West Hoathly Sharpthorne Station, which doesn't exist anymore. They demolished this in the 60s. Yeah. Yep. Never mind. Whatever. This bridge, by the way, it's far too long. I've got it as a beautiful stone bridge. It isn't. Same with these next couple that you look at. They're only really short bridges. But I love the stone bridges in this game. So guess what? We've got nice stone bridges. Yep. And of course we're double track all the way here from Horsted Keynes up through Kingsgate Station, which is meant to be on a corner. Yeah, don't let the little technicalities get to you. Right, I know it's on a bendy station, and oh no, this bit. Yep. Well, you wanted a viaduct. If you didn't have a viaduct, which doesn't exist, yeah, I know, but I wanted a viaduct. If you didn't have the viaduct, you wouldn't have this problem that you've got now. Well, if I thought about what I was doing first, I wouldn't have this problem either. Fair enough. Eventually, you'll see that I do solve it. Eventually. Gosh, glad you're doing this to show us what to do, Stephen. Well, I, cut it back a little bit better and now lift it, and I realise on the left that bit there is elevated. So, that was the thing that I needed to do the first time. Oh, God. Now, let's head on up the hill. And right there, just to the north of us, above us, is a tip. And this was one of the things they had to remove millions and millions of tons, well, a lot, I don't know how much exactly, of waste, and get rid of it, and then stabilise the ground and everything else. That would have been a smelly old job. Oh, look, if you've got a bridge pillar in the way, that's how you get rid of it. Ilderholm Viaduct, yes, good, thank you. Nice straight bit there, and come straight across, boom, level, lovely. All of this is done with vanilla tools, by the way, pretty much. The only thing that isn't vanilla is what's in the bottom right-hand corner there, and here we go. East Grinstead Lower Station. Yeah, this is the way it was originally set up, with the north-south line running through here. Lovely. Yep, I needed a tunnel, so I've played with the experimental tunnel height and got it there. You might have to add a bit of dirt or dig it out a bit or something if you don't have that setting enabled, but here we go. We're now on the upper level where we're connecting the Tunbridge to Three Wells railway line via this station, which connects, as you can see, just connects with the other station. Come on, put it in. There we go. Thank you. All right. Phew, this is hard work. I know. But, you don't have enough money to do this all at the start, so just concentrate on playing the game and earning some money before you go mad trying to build railways. Depends what you want to do. Oh, this bit. Yeah, junction. Big junction. Construction tip coming up here. Big tip here. Here we go. Look at this. Right, put that in. Yep. Now try and build that junction. Flatten it first. Oh, well, that's a thought. Yep. Makes it look so much nicer. Yeah, no derailments. And whiz it in. Boom, boom. There we go. Look at that. Brilliant. Okay. Finally, just to finish off East Grinstead, a couple of good sidings. And again, Stephen, what'd you forget to do? I know, I forgot to flatten the junction first. Yep. Makes it so much easier. Right. And just whack this lot through. This lot, the gold line that goes from Tunbridge Wells to Three Bridges is also single track, except around the stations, of course. Right. Okay. And whack in the goods line. Right. And are we there yet? Oh, look. No, we've still got all the other lines to do, which we're not going to do in this video, but, this is it. I wanted to show you how I replaced all of those dirt roads with rail. Just smooth it out. Fix up the station names. Yep, that's it. Terrific. Okay, now what? More smoothage, a little bit of paint, thank you, get rid of that, and smooth all the way back down to the start. Oops. That could have been, that would have been fun if I hadn't found it. A bit more paint. Yep. Oh, connect the station. Yes, that might help. Well, it won't because there are no passengers around at this time of the game, so you're going to need buses. The funny thing is that this line ran through some of the most sparsely populated area of the countryside and nowhere near an actual village, within reasonable shouting distance. So you're going to set up some buses. Right. Good. There's the line in place. All we're going to do now is, buy a train and we'll go for a cab ride in a little while. But that didn't take too long. I must admit I did speed it up 400% or something. There we go. Half the line done. A lot more to come yet. This large 1 to 3 or 8 by 24 kilometre vanilla Transport Fever 2 map was created from another YouTube viewer suggestion, so many thanks for your input, Zero. Now, the key natural feature I've tried to replicate here are the numerous creeks, rivers and lakes that are abundant in this area. But since these are all above sea level, remember that any water is painted on. so be careful when using terrain tools near them. And watch out that the pesky AI doesn't build on them either. Now, the initial placement of streets and railway lines is based on the 1890s ordnance maps available from the National Library of Scotland. So it is well worth checking these when you start laying tracks and building the railway stations to get a much better idea of how it all worked. And in towns, many of the streets are marked as player-owned in an effort to prevent the game AI from wrecking, the early historical layout of those towns. But you might like to adjust that as the game progresses to allow the towns to expand naturally. There are also a lot of trees used, well over 600,000 of them, to show where the various woods and forests were located, again using the 1890s maps. And from those maps, it's also often fairly easy to see where the brickworks were or the quarries and accurately guess where the timber comes from. You see, I'm looking for realistic placement of raw resources and industries where you'd expect them to be in real life. But for many of the industries shown on the map, well, the game requires such things to make it playable, and their placement on the map is certainly not historically accurate. I've also added several portals at sensible places on the map so you can import items that would not normally be produced in the region, like our northern Londinium portal, or this industry cluster down here in the west near Crawley Down, with the Rofont Construction Material Works, which is a bit to the left, and an off of the map iron ore mine, or maybe just a little bit further down on the Ardingly branch. Why not? Let's put in an iron ore mine and a fuel refinery. Why not? Ardingly's a bit to the north, by the way. Or right down the very bottom to the southern side of the map is perhaps where Lewis could be, with another passenger station and machines factory, fuel refinery, whatever. Now, while I'm researching these maps, I always seem to find one extremely interesting historical fact, and today we're looking at Sheffield Park. The Lord Earl of Sheffield lived here, and would you believe he had a first-class cricket pitch built in the middle of nowhere? Yep, well, this area is actually steeped in cricket history, with the Earl inviting visiting international teams to play here, like the first game against an Aussie 11 in 1884, or their last game in 1896, when 25,000 people came, mostly by train, from Sheffield Park. Wow, that must have been a sight, I tell you now. And I've only just realised that our annual interstate cricket competition in Australia, i.e. the Sheffield Shield, was actually named after Lord Sheffield himself. Amazing. Who donated a trophy for the winner of the intercolonial matches during his visit to Australia in the 1892 to 1893 season. Gotta love it, the learning I'm still doing at my ripe old age of, 70 plus years now. Oh well, that's what I love about this game and by making these realistic maps. But let's head on back over to our depot here and join a train for a cab ride up the line. And let's see what it looks like. Now remember, you don't have the track laid on a map yet. You've got to do it yourself. Who knows whether you'll be able to do that in Transport Fever 2 and supply maps with preload track, I think that'd be a great idea. But until then, you've got to use my little technique here where I mark out the single tracks with a narrow country road and the double track with a wide country road. Makes sense? So let's just enjoy a cab ride for the next, I don't know, trip up the line to East Grinstead. Lots of people do this trip. Well, not this trip. No, we don't do the Newark bit. We actually start at lots of people do the trip from Sheffield Park up to East Grinstead along the Bluebell Railway line every year. It's magnificent, absolutely magnificent. And to save me the thousands of dollars it would cost to get over the pond, the big pond, to America, no, to, what the heck, brain freeze, to the UK, to do this, I'm going to do it virtually. So sit back and enjoy this little cab ride along the Bluebell Railway line, coming up after the next station. Although, okay, there aren't any immediate plans to fix this portion of the line. There are, however, when we get to Horsted Cairns, you got it right, yep, there are, however, plans by the Bluebell Railway Preservation Society to reinstate the line back up to Ardingly. Because the track still runs from Haywards Heath up to Ardingly, put your teeth in, and yeah, all they need's money and time, I suppose, to do that. But that would then connect them properly to the network on that side of the world. It'd be brilliant. But anyway, I digress, and I should just shut up. That'd be a first. Sorry, and let you enjoy the cab ride through this gorgeous Sussex countryside. And until next time, it's hooroo from me, it's goodbye from him, and I'll see you next time. Cheers for now. Bye.